Hello, everybody. We have Dwayne in the house. My uncle just popped in my head. I don't know why. Hello, Dwayne. Oh, I forgot to put my makeup back. My bad. I have like brushes everywhere and probably gonna make my screen go funky again. So how are you, Heather?
I'm doing good. My uncle died during the night, Saturday, night, Sunday morning kind of thing. So now my cousins have got to figure out what to do with his house full of junk, but
Uh-oh.
and they don't know if he has life insurance policy.
Oh no.
Glad I'm not in their shoes, man.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that Friday night. I didn't realize that he had already passed.
And
Saturday night.
Yeah, he did the next night after we talked. But it really is a huge relief in many ways because you know, your body wears out.
Yeah.
But this makes, I was trying to count how many, so of uncles, I guess he was between both sides of the family, number 6 to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. 5. Number 5 to go. And then I have one uncle left on, and he's on that's my mom's brother, and then one aunt left that's my dad's youngest sister. So, and that's it. They didn't live as long as the generation before them.
So, maybe change in diet or something?
I think that's probably a lot to do with it, would be diet and some alcoholism in there.
Oh, wow.
So,
hello, Key Lime Kisses. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. She says, Key Lime says, bank statements will be a good way to see if he was paying out any type of insurance payments. Been through all this a few times.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I will pass that information along. Thank you. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I know that up here now. I don't even think, I'm trying to think.
The house either has a second mortgage or a reverse mortgage. They don't know if it's, reverse mortgage, the bank's going to take it. If it's a second mortgage, I think she's just going to sell it for that as is, because the house needs to be gutted, like floors, drywall. In some places, just we're talking to just take it clear down to the bones and redo it in some spots of the house. And the house is in a nice neighborhood, so
right, that's what you were saying.
Yeah, it's not any fancy. We have fancy here, but no, it's not in one of those, but it is in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that he passed, but at least he's not suffering.
Oh yeah. It was a tumor had been in his colon, had been seeping into so he was going septic, and then I guess the tumor exploded. Isn't that horrible? The really sad thing is that was completely avoidable had he got medical attention. Not saying he'd still be alive, it's right. But that extreme.
Right. Yes, exactly. Hello, Cliff. How are you doing? Hello, Pearl. How you doing? The junking data girl. Hello. That's Cha-Cha. Did I say that right? I am horrible at names. But
me too.
Here. Key Lime Kisses said, hopefully it's a reverse mortgage, which I've never heard that term.
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard that term, but I never bought a house, so.
It's what old people do. My grandma, my grandma did that, and we tried to get my mother to clear the house out sooner. She waited till last minute. Anyway, we got through it. It didn't
I
have
know about last minute and trying to get things.
it didn't have to be a
last minute.
cluster, you know, but it ended up that way. And that is like one of my number one frustrations in life is it's like this didn't have to be this big of a problem, but
Oh
due
yeah.
to neglect and stalling and not facing problems and situations, just hanging out, procrastinating, pretending like problems are going to go away because that works.
I know. I know we've experienced that. I shouldn't say I know it. I just know that we've experienced it with Tommy's mom. Last minute trying to get things taken care of. Hello, Aunt Kelly.
Oh, yes, you told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, B Davy 69. So I'm old. I'm looking into a reverse mortgage. Haha. Dwayne says the bank pays the homeowner every month. Oh. And
I
it's
thought that they give them a lump sum. Oh, it's annual. Okay.
Oh, wow. Hello, Purple Tube. Hello, hello. Okay, so tonight we decided, and I think I'm lagging. Am I lagging? Because my StreamYard is acting very strange on this end.
Really?
Yes. Okay. I think it's good for now, but we'll see what happens. So tonight's topic is music and mental health, which I think is a good topic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Heather came up with it Saturday when we were talking. And so we just are going to, okay, no lag. Okay, it was lagging horrible over here on StreamYard. I was like, my hand was way over here, but I actually had brought it over this way and it wasn't moving. So yeah, it was kind of weird. Hello, Barbara. How are you doing? So both of us did some research and we're going to discuss, the different things that I have a website I'm actually going to bring up too.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and it's about like the top, I think it's the top, let me look here because I always forget. 21 songs people with anxiety and depression recommend. Thanks, Dwayne. It's all in my head. The lag that is. I know my head lags a lot, but let me tell you, not that bad. But no, in the research I was doing, what I found was that music they use is like one of the number one therapies that they recommend to people who suffer from mental illness. It's like on the top of the list. We can relate to music, we can feel music, we can, express ourselves through music. And then, I was sitting there reading it and I was like, this is interesting because none of my counselors ever mentioned music therapy. Not at all. And so
they'd rather just give you medication. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hi, Peter. How you doing? So with this topic, we are gonna ask. We'd like to ask you guys, what kind of music do you listen to during any type of mental health stuff that you go through? And like, what's your favorite music? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you feel empowered? Stuff like that. Because I know I love all forms of music, and this light is blinding me.
There's
No money.
There's a Motley Crue song, oddly enough, that to this day, I have a hard time listening to because of the emotions connected to it.
Now, have you found that, like, I'm trying to think of how to word this so it doesn't sound horrible. Like, I have found myself, let me just, maybe this will help with it. So I have found with me personally, if I listen to a song from like the early 90s, there are certain songs that will trigger a memory, a good memory.
Oh, yeah.
Bad memory, but a good memory. And so once I'm listening, or like when it comes on the radio, which is, we have a station that likes to play, you know, different genres, different, you know, eras and stuff like that of music. And I can't think of the name of the song, so give me a second to try to look it up. But what I find is that this one particular song, and I probably won't be able to find it because I can't remember the name of it. I couldn't tell you who sings it. I don't know the lyrics, but the second that I hear that song, it throws me back to hanging out with my best friend Mike in his car going to the beach every time.
That's a great memory.
Yeah, and me not being able to go out of the house unless I was hanging out with him and a few of our other friends that we had. But like literally, I was pretty sheltered growing up, so it was a big deal for me to be able to go alone in his car to meet up with our friends at the beach. So, and it seemed like every time I was in that car, it, like, that song always played every time. It's like, I know there wasn't a tape in, it was a certain radio station, but it seemed like every time I got into his car.
So it was, how about like, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana? That was the number one grunge song.
Yeah, no, it was.
Is it like,
all right, hold on. This is gonna drive me crazy now.
I'm gonna look at YouTube here, see what's going on.
Okay. All For You by Sister Hazel.
Oh my gosh, I have that on multiple playlists. That is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to remember, like, I couldn't remember the song or the words to it. I couldn't remember the name. I couldn't remember who sang it.
Yeah.
I turned to the computer to Google it, and all of a sudden one sentence just kind of popped. So I typed it in, and yeah, it's Sister Hazel, All For You.
Yep, definitely. So on YouTube, I have created several playlists. And I have them broken down to decades or genres or eras or just specific topics. And it drives Dwayne crazy, but I can listen to the same playlist over and over again. And I'm not even hearing it, especially if I'm busy. It's just kind of a part of me. And Dwayne's like, really? Again? But no, I love music. When Dwayne and I were teenagers, music was part of what defined you. You know, Dwayne listened to hair bands. There was also not as much anything, you know, back then. And not that we were by any means deprived, but I think today's kids, I sound so old. Today's kids have too much. And that actually contributes to anxiety, you know, generalized anxiety. But
hi, Sharon, welcome. Hi, JRKR. So Tommy listens to my playlist too. I have a lot of playlists on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And like I have a shower mix that I listen to and sing to while I'm in the shower. I ain't gonna lie. And I have a playlist where it says learn. It's music or songs that I really want to learn and try to sing and stuff like that. Then I
Oh,
have
that's
a
cool.
playlist. I have a playlist for mental health. That
Way
one's
cool.
public.
And that is, um, Perlini, I've never listened to hard rock or heavy metal. Okay, Perlini, there is Two Rockin' Grandmas. It's on YouTube. Look up Two Rockin' Grandmas. Oh my gosh, they listen to heavy metal. They're a pair of old hippie ladies, and they break it all down. What's the German group? Something Stein. They sing in German, and they
Oh,
have
I don't know.
they were showing videos made from concerts by that group. Those guys, oh my gosh, it's a theatrical production, and I bet tickets start at $200 a piece. I'm sure.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and
Ramstein?
yes, yep, that's it. And they're not even like the lead singer is pushing 60. They've been around for a while, and he's still rocking. The dude's huge. He's got to be 6.5 feet tall, and he's just big old muscles, and
Oh, jeepers.
he dresses kind of like this Viking punk rocker.
I'd be like, oh, there's my family.
And he has this really
The
distinct
Viking part.
voice. Yeah, like you hear his voice and I don't know his name, but I know who it is. But
That's so funny.
we
Oh,
were,
I'm gonna write that one down too.
but I was going to tell you about, we were kept a bit sheltered when I was young. And there was the mom approved list of music. My father thought that rock and roll was from the devil. My mom thought a lot of rock and roll was from the devil. Oh my gosh. I torture my children with the stories of the satanic panic, and my mother fully buying into it.
That's too
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
Sorry, y'all. I have a very bad itching.
Oh, from your bird.
Yes.
But
I thought I was gonna be okay because I washed and
it's still catching up with you.
it's catching up to me. So I apologize. It was either that or start scratching like crazy.
So Peter, you remember the satanic panic? Can you believe we all survived it?
Yeah.
Satan was this close to having us. Kiss. Oh my gosh, Kiss. They were gonna take us straight to hell, weren't they?
Well, there was also the Styx song that if you played it backwards, it went no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin.
Oh.
Yeah, there was Led Zeppelin songs. I think maybe I know that Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. Man, that was all kinds of evil right there, boy.
I grew up on AC/DC, Queen.
Love Queen.
And let me tell you, my dad was a hardcore AC/DC fan and Queen fan. Okay. Every time we go out to my uncle's land, he'd be jamming that tape.
I have a theory.
We had tape shell back then. Okay.
Do you want to hear my theory?
What's that?
Do you want to hear my theory?
Yes.
And I want to know Peter's thoughts on it. My theory is that anyone who was a teenager in the 70s can tell you where they were the first time they heard We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions double A side release.
I was junior in high school.
And do you remember the first time you heard it?
Yep.
Yeah. life changing.
Uh, I don't say it was life changing. Really awesome.
Yep. Oh, and then of course Pink Floyd.
Well, anything by Pink Floyd is awesome.
Yeah.
I just heard their music not too long ago for the very first time.
What?
What? Where have you been hiding?
So you have to watch the movie The Wall, and you must watch it at least 3 times to fully embrace it. But
well, Tommy kind of like I don't know, it was weird because like we listened to a lot of tapes growing up because that's what my dad had. But I didn't know who they were until Tommy was like, "Have you heard of them?" I'm like, "No, I like that song." And so he went and he found all the videos that he could on YouTube and he played them. And I was like,
yeah, you have to listen to The Wall in its entirety.
Yeah.
That was the #1 selling album of the 70s.
Yeah, it was broke up by song on YouTube. So
you gotta get the album if you can find it on vinyl, man.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. Sitting in a dark room, listening to The Wall.
Yeah, that's what Tommy said too. But
we were all completely sober.
Yeah, I wasn't born in the 70s. I was born in the 80s. So I'm a 90s kid. I was a teenager in the 90s. And so, I mean, I remember the 80s as I was growing up, but I don't remember much of the 80s because I mean, I was born in 1980, the very beginning of 1980. And so when I turned 10 was in 1990, and I remember all that from 10 and up, but we didn't listen to a lot of music when we lived in Florida. At least I don't remember it, like what we listened to, because my mom was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, my mom was pretty cool. I couldn't tell you the music we listened to. I just remember that she would clean the house. We would clean our rooms. And then on the weekend, and she would, after everything was said and done, we would grab hairbrushes. I ain't lying. We grab hairbrushes. My mom would crank up the music in the living room, and we'd all dance and sing into our hairbrushes.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was fun. And then as we got older and I was a teenager, my mom started working. What's that?
You missed out on the big experience.
Yeah, well, I remember the big hair, and I remember the mullet.
I never had one of those.
Good for you, Peter. Good for you. Dwayne's mullet went down to his ass, I guess. He had to pull it up so he could work on cars.
I remember everybody and their brother skipping final class when MTV launched.
Oh, I remember.
They skipped their last class and we all left and we all went home and we were all sitting in front of the TVs.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find a high school or even a middle school kid on a street that day.
MTV was a big no-no in our house.
I remember Jump, Van Halen Jump, and then when Michael Jackson's Thriller album came out. And yeah.
Okay, so real quick, I want to jump over to chat.
MTV.
What's that?
You remember the first song that was played on MTV?
Tommy has played it for me. I couldn't tell you. I can't remember what the name of it.
No, that came later.
Our TV kills the radio star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tommy's played it for me, but the
very first song.
MTV was a big no-no in our house. We couldn't watch MTV. We were allowed to watch the Disney Channel.
You were way too supervised as a child. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
My mother worked 2 jobs and we did whatever we wanted.
Not in our house. I don't know. I guess growing up, because I was so used to, one of my other best friends, her parents were older, And I would go over there and we'd listen to records. As teenagers, we would listen to records. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the whole wide world. And so when my parents bought me a stand-up record player, and I had Joan Jett, her record. I had a blues and jazz record, and I had a couple other records, but I played the crap out of my jazz and blues record and my Joan Jett record to the point where they didn't play no more. My mom said, I couldn't believe you did that. But that's what I did. You know, I loved those two records, and I wish I still had the record, the blues and jazz record, because I used that as a teenager because I was bullied in high school, like literally physically bullied. Not what they call bullying now, but I was physically bullied in school growing up. Okay. And so when I would get home, I would go straight to my room. I had homework too, but I would play my jazz and my blues record. And that would calm me down. And then I'd go and I took care of my brother since I was 12 years old because my mom and dad both worked. When my mom got her job when I was 12, I was kind of like thrown into it. But on the weekends, my mom, if she didn't have to work, even as a teenager, we would grab the hairbrushes and we would play music on Saturday afternoon. But Saturday morning, let me tell you, we were up bright and early because we got to watch cartoons with our mom.
Oh, yeah. Saturday morning cartoons and then chores in the afternoon.
Yep. And so, I mean, it was just something that I did growing up. And I was so excited when Tommy was able to come across a record player. And the kids were sitting like, what's that?
Natalie got one for Christmas.
Yeah, now they have the ones where you can plug them into your USB port on your computer. I want one of those now.
I haven't even seen it. Her Chance's mom sent it.
You can actually send your music from your record player to your computer.
Yep.
Via Wi-Fi.
And
I've seen those too. Yeah. Oh, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's the other one I had. It was Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then I can't remember what the other ones are. Records I had. But real quick, let's jump to chat so we don't ignore them. Dwayne said there's no money in music therapy for therapy.
Yeah.
There isn't.
But they still could give you that, recommend it to you when at least the ones that I've been to have never recommended it.
Send it to every single one of my clients.
Yeah.
Because so if it helps me, why wouldn't it help someone else?
Yeah. There's a reason music was. You can't really say music was invented or created. I don't know. It just, it's something that comes from the soul. And that is why K-pop, children, is not music. K-pop is garbage.
K-pop?
If you do not, blood, sweat, and tears, that is art.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
If it's simply manufactured, that is not art.
Yeah. Dwayne says, sometimes heavy metal, sometimes the blues. Cool. Yes, I do like the song. I just can't. My memory stinks, so I couldn't remember the name of that song. But when I hear it, it's like instantly transporting me back in time. So I didn't know if maybe I was just weird that way. B. Davy says, Donna Taggart music, even though emotional, got me through my wellness cat passing last year. Without that, I doubt I'd still be here. Oh, wow. Really? StreamYard, please cooperate. I pay for you every month now. Be nice. It just like totally skipped everybody. So, but I wanted to make sure that I at least, point out um, people's stuff in here. And of course, it's being sassy as can be. Okay. Like you said, you recommend music therapy to all your clients. Yeah, because you gotta think about it. You don't see your therapist every single day. And you experience things throughout the day that music could be very beneficial for. Very beneficial. Barbara says each person uses different genres and styles for their mental health.
Oh, yeah. There's something about like when you're a teenager and that cements in. And because we listen to music from the 60s, some music from the 70s, but it's the 80s music when I was a teenager that really that I connected with.
Yeah,
I like a lot of the 70s. I mean, I was born in 62, so
Yeah, so that
the 70s
sounds
were a big influence on my musical, what I liked.
absolutely.
And then the 80s hit, and I was going through very bad times during the beginning of the 80s. So music was kind of my only outlet at the time. So I constantly listened to music and constantly, listened to the radio stations. And then I started winning tickets to concerts and going to these live concerts all the time.
Yeah, I went
I mean,
to concerts. Yeah.
it was like, I think the last count I made that I went through all my ticket stubs that I still have to this day.
I have some.
I did 127 concerts in the 80s.
Wow. The only band I saw twice was Van Halen, both of them with Sammy. I would have liked to have seen them with David, but didn't happen. And now, yeah, we wore black for a week with the passing of Eddie. Oh my gosh, when Freddie Mercury died, my siblings and I just felt devastated. We were so sad. And we still recognize Freddie for a day every September. What is it, September 5th? Something like, I think, Freddie for a day.
I don't really know. Twin said, "Oh my God, I've heard her damn playlist so many times.
Yeah,
say the same thing."
Yeah. Well, now here's something else kind of taking this in a little bit of a different direction. Gospel music, as in the stuff if you grew up going to church. Now, and something kind of interesting. So I was raised Mormon. Dwayne was raised Catholic. But his father was raised Mormon. And so when there's Mormon funerals in Dwayne's family, none of the, or very few of his dad's siblings are active, but you can still see them kind of doing this with the music, because you never lose that.
Yeah.
And there are still, even though I'm not religious, there are still songs that mean a great deal to me. In fact, I've got one, right? It's a little music. I'm going to grab it.
Okay. B. Davy says his mom despised the Beatles.
Oh my gosh, that's sacrilegious. How do you despise the Beatles?
My first album was the White Album.
Oh, do you still have it?
Yeah.
And
the one with no writing on it at all.
I have seen an original White Album. So I got this when my grandma died. And so you can see there, Mormon Temple is many people recognize that as the Salt Lake Temple, first one. And you have to know what song it is now because it's so old. Oh, look. That's my grandma's writing.
Yeah.
And my sister, I know it. And my mother, she I'm like, Moroni's missing. She said, your sister stole it. I know she did. And that was the drinking years. Couldn't trust her with anything. She wanted it. And so I think she stole Moroni. But anyway, this means a great deal to me. And it plays a Pioneer song.
Yeah, I have a trinket jewelry box that I got from my Nana. And because after my poppy passed away, she went through all their stuff and started putting everybody's names underneath everything. So that, you know, it would go to the right person. Well, I ended up with a jewelry box, or trinket box is what I call it, because when I was little, like little, I would pick things up off the floor and I would give it to my Nana. And my Nana would be like, oh, what a beautiful treasure. And then she would put it in this specific jewelry box. And so it was given to me when I was down there. And I could never figure out why I like this particular song. And the trinket box is upstairs. I should have brought it down. But there's a melody that it plays. And every time I hear it, it always calms me down. And so I could never figure out for the life of me why every time I heard this particular song anywhere, I would instantly just kind of like calm down and be at peace and stuff like that. And then I got that jewelry box, and that's the music that plays on that jewelry box. And then I was told that my Nana, when I'd be fussy and stuff like that, when I was a baby, that she would play that for me. That was my jewelry box, my trinket box. And I got all these little trinkets and the watches that she would wear on her wrist. I would always like play with the watches. So the bands would break and she'd just take the watch itself and put it in the trinket box. And so I have all of that. And now I have it. It's right next to my side of the bed. And nobody can take it. Nobody can dig into it. No, you know, because my kids, you know, they like to steal my stuff. And and so that's put away special. And so I listen to that when it's just me, nobody else is around or in the house. It's just something that I do, especially when I'm missing my Nana and my poppy and all that. And then we need to, should I run up and go get that real quick?
Sure. I have a story that I'll share while you do it.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be right back.
So, I'm from Pioneer Heritage. I've mentioned that. And I'm literally related to thousands of people here. I do polygamy. But there's a song that my great-great-grandfather, along with, you know, hundreds of us, that he wrote. And pretty much everyone who's is a descendant of him knows that he wrote that song. And so there's been more than one occasion. One time I was talking with a gal, her last name was Johnson. And I asked her, I'm like, are you high on a mountaintop? And my friends and Dwayne, they looked at both of us because she's like, yes, I am. And we both knew what I was talking about because that's the name of the song. So I was sharing this story with a neighbor, and she's like, oh my gosh. She goes in the house, she comes out with this big old huge binder, puts it in front of me. I start flipping through it, and there's the song, in the words to the song in the binder, her great-great-grandfather, Joel H. Johnson. And so, but they, there's general conference twice a year, you know, broadcast the whole world. And they sing that song every spring. And so that's kind of a wild connection for me. I guess, you know, connects me to something greater than myself.
Okay, I'm back. Oops, I think I have my sound up too high. Okay, real quick. B. Davy says Metallica. I was going to say metal. Metallica. JRKR says it's funny, but my sons love a lot of music we listen to as teens and young adults. I love 50s and 60s music, and I love 90s music. Me personally. Let me see if I can go.
I think I corrupted my daughters because they both like 80s music.
And
Tom likes 80s music.
I used to play it in my car all the time with them growing
that's
up.
my kids too. Yep.
So they would be
Quiz them.
like, I would put on a song and they would be jamming out to it
Yep.
at this day and age. And it's even funnier because, I mean, one's just turning 18 and she's like, I'll put on a tune and she'll just start belting it out.
And yeah, my kids, when other kids were listening to kid music, my kids were listening to classic rock and modern alternative and grunge. And like I said, I would quiz them on the classics. And so, yeah, you have to know your classic rock in my family.
Barbara says your music choices may change over time. Yes, I agree with that statement.
Mine
It
never
really does.
has. Mine hasn't.
Mine's still the same.
Most
I'd rather go through a Crosby, Stills and Nash CD in the CD player than put on Britney Spears. I'd rather just take that one and just fling it across the yard.
And
we met Britney Spears. Yeah, he was front row at one of her concerts, and he got to have dinner with her and all this. And
I guess.
Okay, so when she was in the Mickey Mouse Club, she was right down the road from my grandfather. There was Justin and all them. Yeah, so that's a story for another time. Let's see. I'm gonna go down and see if anybody else has anything else pops up. My little blue Panasonic did I say that right? Was my friend like a walk or something? I grew up on country too. Key Lime says, "Sorry, JRK, I hated country when I was young, but now it's almost sentimental to me because my mom listened to it. Pretty sad that Charlie Pride just passed." Yes, I did hear about that. That's crazy. But I grew up on country, and let me tell you, my favorite form of country right now is country hip hop. That man, Tommy jams that down here, like Moonshine Bandits, The Lax, Moccasin Creek. Like Moccasin Creek, I love.
I've never been a country fan, but I have kind of grown into liking Granger Smith. He has a little bit of rockabilly. Like he has two different personas. He has himself as Granger Smith, and then he has kind of a heavier, thumper kind of music where he has his alter ego, which is, oh my gosh, Granger Smith, and I can't think of his alter ego right now. My brain just went blank.
I guess I have some sentiment for some older country, just a little bit.
Well, I grew up with a lot of the old country. My father used to jam that stuff in our house all the time when I was a kid.
We always just waited for our parents to leave, which they were gone a lot, and then we would listen to the music we liked.
I grew up, my father had the reel-to-reel 8-track, cassette, turntable, you name it, it was on the stereo system.
So I did not grow up in the time of the 8-track. I think I've seen one 8-track in my life and had to ask Tommy what it was because I wasn't sure. And then he's like, "Well, don't you remember those?" I'm like, "When those were around, I was probably just born or something. I don't know. I don't remember those at all.
I remember one of my daughters looking for something to take to show and tell, and she was like, "Dad, you got something?" Earl Dibble Jr. Yep, thank you. That's his alter ego. But I couldn't think of what I could give her, and then I went, I got it. I actually have the old fashioned. It looks like an old dynamite plunger that you put the 8 tracks in. I sent that whole thing to school, and I'm trying to think of what kind of music would I send to school. Got to be careful. So I don't remember. I think I found a 8 track that had kids songs on it, and I sent that in.
That's
And she
fun.
she plugged it in and she turned it on, and the kids were just stopped dead in their tracks. They're like, "What's that?" And I showed her how to use it. I showed her how to put the 8 track in, and it was so funny. She came home and she said, "Dad, I was a hit." And I was like,
That's
"Oh,
so
I'm
funny.
glad."
That's cute.
Mine says, I love old Johnny Horton. Now, I did not know who that was until I got with Tommy. And his uncle Ray every year did a party for Johnny Horton. Let me tell you, I fell in love with that guy's music. Let me tell you. And Perlini says, I listen to John Denver a lot.
Yeah, I like
My butt.
Denver.
But
Just a little bit.
John Denver, I love John Denver. I grew up listening to him.
I remember when he died too.
Yeah, so does Tommy.
His airplane went down.
John Denver is Tommy's cousin.
And I remember you telling.
And he was not a very nice man to the family. Tommy said he remembers seeing him a couple times growing up. That was it, when he was little. But I love his music. I'm just saying, I love his music. He gets so annoyed with me because I'll play his music. He's like, really? I'm like, uh-huh.
That's funny.
Uh-huh. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. Okay, so I got my trinket box that was my Nana's.
Let's see it.
All right. I don't know the name of the song that it plays. I just know that when I hear it, and
we'll have a name that tune moment here.
Yep. So this is the trinket box. Now there's a lot of stuff in here. So obviously I picked up a lot of stuff when I was little. But I'm gonna open it so you guys can hear it. Oh, let me make sure that it's. So if somebody can name this tune, that'd be great because I would love to know what it's called. I've tried to find it and I can't.
Oh, sure.
Huh?
Isn't that Teddy Bear's Picnic?
Yes, it is. It's a very popular song.
I deserve a prize.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I got lost in the music. I'm sorry. I think it is Dwayne, actually. But I don't know what the name of that is. I had to, you know what I did? I had to pack all that stuff up. It's all in my Irish tote. Crap.
So yeah, write that down.
Okay. Where is it? Where is it? I gotta find out where did it go?
Your list?
Yep, I have the list, but I didn't hear what everybody said it was. What's the name of it?
Teddy Bear's Picnic.
What is it?
And unless that's the name I know it by. Do you know it by a different name, Peter?
No, that's the same name.
All right, write it in the private chat for me because I don't even know how to begin to spell that. Horrible. Perlini says that her kids listen to Good Charlotte. I remember. Wait, no. Nope, that was a different one. Never mind.
I'll have to look that up.
I'm just writing a list, you know. It never hurts to add music to your collection.
Heck no.
And I love music to the point where I'm willing to give it a shot. And if I don't like it, then I don't like it. But most of the time, I end up falling in love with it.
Okay, I had a funny moment the other day. I was going through some stuff. It's stuff that I packed when I moved in with Kelly, and haven't been in it since we moved in together. And there was a box sitting in the back when we pulled all the Christmas stuff out, and I saw that box sitting there. I opened it up, and it had 4 of my tapes that I made back in high school with all my music that I used to pop into my car, and we used to make them off the radio all the time.
Yes.
So they used to announce it, what the song was coming up, and I'd sit there with my hands on there ready to go, and then just go click. And as soon as it came to almost to the last second of it, I'd go stop, so I wouldn't get any of the talk in the background.
Yeah.
And I used to do the jam tapes all the time.
So Van Halen, Why Can't This Be Love? You know, first song released with Sammy. My brother's high school best friend had recorded off the radio, so that we could listen to it. Yep.
Yeah, that's the way we got our music.
Yes, yeah. That was iTunes, old school
Yeah,
iTunes.
that was our iTunes. Yep.
Absolutely.
When they had a sale on cassettes at Radio Shack or Kmart, you ran down there and you grabbed like a whole box of tapes, and you run them home, and you sit there on a Saturday night, nothing to do, and you just sit there and keep pushing the record button when your
Get
favorite
out your
tunes
felt
come on.
tip pen and write on the case.
Yep.
Yep. And then if your tape player spazzed out and there you were.
Yep, with the pencil.
Yeah.
Rolling it back up.
Hours.
Okay, so it's Beethoven. It's called Ellis. Ellis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what the name of the music is in here. Yeah. And it's the same as the snow globe that you and Dwayne sent me.
Oh, very good.
So, awesome. But I had, that's why I muted, because Cliff had the writing out and stuff, and so I listened. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's it. And I like Beethoven and all that. I love classical music. Mm-hmm. I listen to classical music when I just need that woosa moment. I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of music lately, and I probably should. But when I have like a moment where I just need to woosa and calm, it that's what I listen to.
And
I listen to a lot of Yes. That was one of my favorite groups.
Yes.
Yep. The group Yes.
Yep. I know my sister saw them in concert. I remember that.
We actually, when I was a freshman in high school, an artist came in, and he got a bunch of the art students that were very good, and I happened to be one of them. He would come into the library every time we had our art time. I would go there, and what he would do is he drew everything in pencil and had us paint it. And he was always playing Yes in the background. And this one particular song, every time he played it, it kind of keyed me. And I finally said something to him, and he said, I was wondering which student was going to figure it out. And I said, the painting we're painting is that song. And he said, You are 100% right. He goes, I keep playing that song, and I'm hoping that one of the students is going to pick it up. And he goes, and I was waiting and waiting, and it was like the third or fourth week we were working on this gigantic mural. And it actually still hangs in our library to this day
Oh,
in the
cool.
high school I graduated from.
Keyline, thank you, because you actually said it in chat as well. And I must have missed it because, you know, my StreamYard's being sassy with chat. So thank you to both of you and Clef, because now I have it. And I shouldn't forget it because I'm going to plaster this orange card. I'm going to rewrite it, plaster this orange card right up here and put myself a little note.
Stupid dogs. I'll be right back.
But yeah, so paper plate fan, I think that's how you say it. I think that's how I was told to say it. He also does during the week a mental health hangout. They discuss different mental health things and stuff like that, just like we do. And if you guys haven't subscribed to them, please do. They just started real recent. And it's pretty cool to go in and just have it playing and listening. But he said music is definitely one of, if not the most used tool of mine to calm or bring me back, which I'm sure you have heard me talk about that in my show. Yes. So, I mean, music is definitely a way to connect with yourself emotionally. And it's definitely, like, for me personally, like, I have songs that make me feel powerful. Like, ooh, I can do anything. And I play them and I'm like, yeah, you know, and then there's other
The Rocky music going.
As soon as you said that, that was the first thing that popped in my head. Because I remember being in New Jersey and coming out of the theater after Rocky and watching all these Italian young guys acting like they were Mr. Macho. And I'm just like, dude, just chill. You will get your face slammed into the concrete in a second. But I mean, yeah, they just felt invincible when they came out of there going, they're jumping around, they got their arms up, and they're like, yeah.
I didn't see the first one in the theater, but I did the second one.
I don't know when that came out. I was probably too little.
I actually remember in 1974, I do believe that's the date, when Star Wars came out.
76.
76? I couldn't remember if it was 74 or 76. But
I wasn't born yet. I wasn't even thought of.
I remember going to the theater and seeing that for the first time in the theater.
Yeah, I saw the theater too. A friend of mine, he has seen every Star Trek or Star Wars. I'm more of a Trekkie, but has seen every Star Wars opening night since the what? Because Return of the this is awful. Return of the Jedi, is that the second? Is that number 5 or 6?
I don't know. They confused the hell out of me. They all went backwards.
Okay, because A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, then Return of the Jedi. Yeah. So ever since Return of the Jedi, he's seen them all opening night. I liked the first trilogy.
I was a huge Trekkie back in the day myself.
And
I actually got to go on the actual set where the entire what do you call it?
The deck.
The deck. I actually got to go on the original deck.
That's awesome.
California Comic-Con. They had the entire thing set up.
So it's coming up on 6 years since Leonard Nimoy died, and my children laughed at me because they said I cried more over Leonard Nimoy dying than I did my father dying.
I was just reading. Okay, so I was just reading in chat. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so Cliff says, at one time in the older music magazines, there was sort of a pen pal section where you could swap tapes with other people and make copies. Some of them sounded like mud. They'd been dubbed so much. And then Key Lime comes back and says, Cliff, you were swapping tapes with inmates.
That is hilarious. That is really funny. Wasn't it, what was that? Some, you'd get the tape every month, whatever club.
Columbia
House, yeah.
Columbia House. I used to get those.
Yeah, I remember my sisters.
Yep.
That.
Into that.
I was going clear back to the 80s when I said I'd only been to see one band twice. I've seen U2 twice, but not in the 80s. And here's one of my life's greatest embarrassments. This is shame right here, okay? I lived in the Bay Area as a child. Just imagine when Journey was heard. My brother-in-law went to high school with the bass player. Anyway, I have never seen Journey in concert. Isn't that's bad, isn't it? That's just, yeah. Yep. And now, Steve, it's been 30 years since Steve Perry stopped touring with them.
I've seen Journey, Styx, Queen, Rush, AC/DC, Spyro Gyra, Pat Benatar, Heart, Billy Idol,
Aerosmith,
Steve Miller Band. I never saw Aerosmith in concert.
I've seen Styx and Aerosmith.
Yeah. I saw, oh my gosh. If I had my ticket stub, I could tell you every single concert.
Hello, Thrift Hunter.
Yes, hello, and welcome. Good evening, everyone. I'm new here and get the vibe. You are all wonderful, and I'm already feeling comfortable with you all, especially during this difficult time for me.
That's really great.
You are more than welcome, and we appreciate you being here. And if you need anything, just let us know. We'll try to help you.
Actually, I was on the Mindful Merchants today.
Awesome. My oldest son, his first concert was The Cure. I was like, I don't know, 12 weeks along. Yeah, when I went to that, because I had the tickets, before I knew I was pregnant with him. But yep, that was his first concert in utero. And then when I went to go see U2, I took him both times.
And when he popped out, he was doing this?
And I didn't go to AC/DC.
Wow.
I've seen the Eagles. Dwayne took me to that. Those were some.
I've seen the Eagles too.
That was expensive.
I saw them when they were young.
Right there. And
first time I saw the Eagles, it was 1979.
They were still deep into the drugs then. We saw them after they dried out.
Oh yeah. Oh cripe! I think what's his name there almost fell off the stage. But he had a bad alcohol problem. Their guitarist.
Glenn Frey. Dwayne knows names better than I do. I'll remember the names. It just takes me the time. But yeah.
I'm trying to see. Hold on. Keyline Kisses, what do you agree with me about? I think I forgot. I didn't keep up with chat.
It's funny. I
that's good that you do, because I
saw Def Leppard before the accident, and then I saw them like 2 years later after the accident, and I was blown away by how the drummer just adapted.
Yeah,
you couldn't tell the
difference. Customized his drum set and kept going. Yeah, no, yep. That is a rocker right there. Mm-hmm. See, I've seen Boston, Queensryche.
I saw Boston and Long Island.
Violent Femmes.
That's not me.
Cliff, he says Lucky Man by Montgomery Gentry is a good song for some perspective. And I wrote that down. I'm going to listen to it, and then I'm going to add it to my mental health, the mental health music playlist that I have on my YouTube. So if anybody else would like to listen to it, that way. Thrift Hunter, I have a go-to song when I'm powerlifting. Hit a 405-pound deadlift to it. What song is that? That's like crazy amount of weight to deadlift.
Thrift Hunter, you, my son, my oldest son, he's into powerlifting. He took some time off because of COVID and everything, but he's getting back into it. He told us where he was at. I don't know. I ask him, he tells me I forget. So, but yeah, that's his thing too. You must be in your 20s.
I was going to say the last time I lifted anywhere close to 400 pounds, I was a football player, and it was 1980. I try to do 400 and something pounds now. It would bury me into the ground.
Again, it flopped up. What the heck? Okay, and I do know that I think Keyline Kisses said that Florida is like the head capital of like heavy metal or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy because that's the state I was born in, and I am not a heavy metal person. I am just not into it. There's a couple songs, but nothing like, yeah, in high school I gave myself whiplash headbanging, so I had to go through physical therapy for it. So I'm not a headbanger. And that is honest to God truth. I ended up going through physical therapy in my high school years, my freshman year actually, because my friends and I thought it would be great to headbang and whip our heads, and oh yeah, that was bad. Never again. Cliff says Columbia House was awesome. I wrote them lots of letters telling them I don't want their stuff anymore.
Yes, yeah.
Send out an offer for 25 albums for free. I had over 1,000 CDs in high school. Holy cow, that's a lot.
I was going to say that it was a lifetime membership.
Yep. and the second you send them a letter telling them you no longer want to get any more, stop, they instantaneously send you this thing that's like,
but wait, there's more.
We can give you 25 free CDs or 50 free CDs or whatever. I was just like, dude, I got more music than I know what to do with. No. But then it was so tempting because you get that certificate and you go, well, you know, that song, I really like that album. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll get a few more. And then next thing you know, you got 25 more listed, and they ship them right out, and you end up open up your mailbox and you go, oh no. Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yep. Lifetime membership.
Paper Play Fan says, wife, plastic for K, 4K, and I went to see Journey and Def Leppard last year.
Very good.
We're so lucky. The two concerts that I remember, I gotta remember, I saw Uncle Cracker in concert, love him, and then Mark Hayes, I think it was his name. I was like really young when I saw him. I think those are the only two concerts I ever saw. No, I take that back. Rod Zombie.
Oh,
I loved going to his concert. And the reason I loved going to his concert was because I couldn't figure out why everybody was staring at me. And he got off the stage and he was walking around the outside perimeter of the crowd. And he stopped behind me and I was like, what in the heck? And then I went like this because if you stand behind me, I can't hear you. And so I had no idea that he was standing behind me. And so I looked up and I was like, holy crap, you're tall. And he looked down at me and said, holy crap, you're short. And then I laughed, he laughed, and he continued on, you know?
You're brush with the famous.
I know, right? I've had a few, but let me tell you. But yeah, so Rod Zombie, Mark Hayes, I think was his name, and then Uncle Cracker. So I'd like to see more. I would love to see the Lax. I would love, which is my all-time favorite country hip hop group, next to Moccasin Creek, Moonshine Bandits, Bubba Sparks. Let me tell you, that's my genre of music, and we jam it down here all the time. And so I that's, yeah. And then, you know, Moccasin Creek, Jeff McCool, which is the lead singer of Moccasin Creek, he actually has songs where he talks about his mental health and things that he's been through and how he got
shine
through
on, shine
Yep.
down, shine down. Yeah, you
Chris
know.
Springfield does the same thing.
Oh yeah, I know he had a lot of
He's
anxiety.
had
And
major
I don't
problems.
listen to like
Now I have
Shine Down, I
Jesse's
don't
Girl
listen.
going through my head.
Yeah, we just listened to, like, Tommy introduced me to country hip hop, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's my genre right now. And I absolutely love the way country music, like, I don't feel like, because I'm not a city girl, I'm a country girl, and Tommy's from the city, I'm from the country. And so it fits how I grew up here in Wisconsin and stuff like that. So yeah, I need to write down Shine Down, because I don't really think
you'll like them.
Oh, hold on, let me look them up. Avengeful 7,
Probably most of the bands I would want to see now. It's like, man, I better go see them before they're all, too geriatric.
Avenged Sevenfold is the only, I don't know what genre they are. Does anybody know what genre? It's a heavy metal band. The songs that I've heard of theirs didn't sound heavy metal, but I do like Avenged Sevenfold. I forgot to say, but I didn't realize they were. I just had to pull them up because I was curious on what the genre they are, and it says they're an American heavy metal band. I don't headbang to them, so just saying.
That's good. That's wise.
Let's see. In the chat, Bill Walsh, Dwayne says. Key Lime says, that's an awesome story, Heather. Thrift Hunter says, oldest musician I have ever seen was Ozzy. You lucky person, you.
See, like I said, all those guys, it's like, they're gonna be falling off like flies.
Yeah.
Who knows why Keith Richards is alive? Maybe he's actually dead, and he's still just walking around.
He's zombie.
Yeah.
Cliff says they send out this huge sheet of little stamps of the album's covers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems to be 4 by 8 feet.
And then you got tear them apart. Yep.
See, I didn't like collecting stamps as a kid either. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, but these are music stamps. Kids used to take them out of magazines and take them to and put them on their notebooks and everything else. All the different bands they liked.
Yeah, I never did that.
They would steal the Columbia House stamps out of the.
I honestly don't remember Columbia House or anything like that. I don't remember that kind of stuff. But maybe I was just too young.
Probably done by then.
Yeah,
I don't know. Thrift Hunter says Rob Zombie puts on an amazing show. Second best cool. Yeah, I loved his concert, and there wasn't a whole lot of people at his concert. I mean, it was pretty packed, but where we were standing, I could actually see him on stage. Well, kind of. I had to like step on stuff to, see. But I mean, where we were all standing, I mean, it wasn't like shoulder to shoulder, pressed together, can't breathe type of atmosphere. Where I've heard other places it's like that, but where we saw him, it wasn't like that. So that was pretty cool. I don't know who Billy Squire.
You don't know who Billy Squire is?
I'm gonna look him up. I might.
You probably like his music.
I might. I'm not
very...
so familiar with like names of songs, like Point Proven at the beginning when I said there was a song that I always listen to that I didn't know the name and stuff of it that I had to look up. But I mean, I might recognize something that he's done.
Yeah.
Sure. But I'm gonna look. I will look. Hello, James. He says last concert was Buckcherry a couple years ago. Holy cow. Doesn't that have that weird song, Crazy Bee?
I don't know.
Who sings?
Never heard of him actually.
Are they the ones who have the Stay the Night songs? No. Who's that? Who is that? Oh, it's a Cherry Eye. Different band. I've heard of Buckcherry. I don't know what
they do. Buckcherry does sing the Crazy Bee song.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with their stuff. I just know their name.
I remember that one because it was censored on the radio.
James just did an interview with a blues singer.
Yeah, he said, I just finished interviewing Aaron Pete Lukes, bluegrass singer / songwriter. Oh, cool. Drop the link in chat, James, so that I can click and bring that up so I can watch that. I do. I love bluegrass music. I jazz, all that. That's my thing. That's my thing. I like it. I love all music though, I suppose. Let's see. And 7 full. Okay, so paper plate fan says Cheap Trick. I remember them. Poison, Def Leppard, and Journey was last year. Seeing Kenny Chesney, Eric Church. Oh, you lucky man, you. Eric Church is awesome. Year before, had Disturbed tickets, but wife had emergency back surgery, so gone.
Bummer.
Ticket to friends. Oh. I didn't meet him in concert, but I did meet him while I was at work at Walmart West in Green Bay. Aaron Tippin. He actually saved my job because he wouldn't move away from the door. He came to sign autographs, and he went and moved from the door. And I was like, "Excuse me, I need to go back, and I'm going to be late." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then he went and talked to my boss, and well, he saved my job.
That's very thoughtful.
Aaron Tippin is a nice man. Mm-hmm. And so it was really cool to meet him. I really wanted to meet like my all-time number one since I was a baby singer that I wanted to meet was Kenny Rogers. And I never got the chance. And
he didn't look like Kenny Rogers anymore.
No, he just passed away. And
he
so
did?
Yeah, he did.
I missed that.
Yeah, he just passed away just real recent.
I'm Googling that. How did I totally miss it?
Yep. He was, and it's weird because I didn't talk when I was little. I talk a lot now, but when I was little, I really didn't talk. But I would run around singing his songs. And the one song that I sang all the time was Lady.
Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah, I have sentiment for Kenny Rogers. I don't know why he went and rearranged his face. It was perfectly fine how it was.
I liked when he was bigger, but I like big guys. He was like a big old teddy bear.
He died clear last March. How did I not know this? Wow.
Key Lime says Ozzy was dead 25 years ago and he is still touring.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
guess when he bit the bat head off, that he it gave him extra life. He's now a vampire. He never will die. All right, let me get back up here. Yep, James confirmed too. Let's see. Later, I don't think I'm even saying that right, was my favorite when they toured for that album. I don't know who that is, so I'm going to write that down. I'm going to have a lot of songs.
I've told my kids that, Dwayne and I listen to our music louder, harder, faster than their music. And my daughter said, yeah, you guys have the hearing to prove it. I thought that's very funny. Oh, she wrote a paper on the Violent Femmes as to who should be put into the Hall of Fame and why, and that's who she chose. Was them. I was so proud of her.
Oh wow! All right. Thanks, James. I just saw that he was like, "You talk a lot." Nah. Paper plate fan said, got to meet Vanilla Ice in high school. LOL. Met Charlie Daniels. Simon
to his museum.
And Simon Liban from Duran Duran. I think that's all. Nice.
Cool.
I'm not sure if my dad was friends with Willie Nelson, but my dad shared a photo with me of him and Willie Nelson in a photo. Oh, sweet. Perlini. That reminds me, I went roller skating with Willie Nelson's son and had no idea who the heck he was when I was younger.
Okay. I don't remember it at all, but supposedly I was at Johnny Cash's farm and actually rode horses with Johnny Cash, but I don't remember it at all.
Flogging Molly. Very good. And you were just too young to remember it?
Yeah.
Bummer. No pictures.
I've seen pictures of me on a horse with Johnny Cash leading the horse, and I'm wearing cowboy boots and a black cowboy hat and a cowboy shirt. But
Wait.
I can't remember. I must have been either 4 or 5 or something. I don't remember it. Really don't.
I have 0 brushes with the famous.
First time I met Robert De Niro, I yelled at him.
David Jones is awesome. I listen to him too, and their country hip hop. That's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, a photo I may never obtain. Oh,
that's a bummer.
James, I don't know if that's for real or not. I'm not putting that on the screen, but yeah, Flogging Molly. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Tommy actually introduced me to them. So I didn't. I mean, Tommy has introduced me to a whole different world of music that I personally didn't know was even out there. Even though I love music, and I grew up listening to it and stuff like that, I just didn't know there was a whole other ton of genres out there. And so he has opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it's crazy.
You gotta go on Hemlock Mercantile's music night. You can get all kinds of music. And James, he jams out.
That's cool.
He puts up some wild music. And boy, that man can jam.
Pearl says, thank you, Paper. My dad knew a lot of people. I just don't. The stories don't know the stories behind them. Yeah, my uncle, he used to drive celebrities around in limos when they would come in Florida, or when they would fly into Florida, into the Orlando area. And like he said, there were quite a few of them that were not very nice people, musicians, that were not very nice at all. Tommy actually knows some musicians. He used to hang out with them. And so the song, let me find it because I know I'm going to mess it up. Okay. The song is called Bartender. The Bartender song is by Rehab. And Tommy actually heard this song and sat with these guys in their garage while they were doing this song, like when they were coming up with the song. And so I don't know if you guys know who that is, but let me bring it over here and drop a link in chat. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool when he was telling me about that. I think this is the link. I hope this is the link. Somebody let me know if that's the link. Okay. So yeah, and like, if you have Paper Plate Fan says, oh, let me go over here. My neck of the woods now, about 1 hour from Orlando. I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, and then we lived in Orlando for a while, and then we moved Spring Hill, Brooksville area. I have family all over Florida. Lots of family around Florida. My Aunt Kelly actually was in here. I don't know if she still is in here. But she usually stops by at the beginning because she works. So that way I get to at least see her, at least in chat. James, is this a sassy video? Okay, I'll watch that in a bit. You're gonna have to wait. What? I don't understand.
An hour out.
Talk on pins and needles more with YouTube and copyrights. What do you mean?
Gonna get in trouble for talking about stuff?
Nah, I'm not monetized yet. No, been in West Virginia, Colorado. Oh, nice. So yeah, I look at it this way. For me, music is a way to, depending on what I'm going through, depends on what type of copyrights with music. Yeah. Oh yeah, only if you play the music. I'm not playing the music. I'm just throwing out names and stuff.
Dwayne and I, we did a live video, and it got flagged because we were walking past some music that was being.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
stupid. There was no reason for the video to be, stay on YouTube anyway. But yeah, that was just dumb.
I put Tommy and I's video that I made with the song "Endless Love," and I put it up. I got a thing saying, "Oh, okay, brilliant." I was like, "What? I wasn't playing it. I promise." No. I ended up getting something on there. So once if I become monetized, the whatever comes from that song revenue or whatever.
Are you talking Lionel Richie?
What's that?
Are you talking Lionel Richie? And,
I think that's who sings it. Yeah.
And I don't remember who the woman was. Did you see that episode of Friends? And at the very end,
I
Joey
never
and Phoebe, and Joey and Phoebe were singing that song together. It was very funny.
Yeah, I didn't watch Friends.
Yeah, I wasn't a Friends person either.
I just never watched it.
I loved it.
But yeah, so I mean, I got a whatever it is on YouTube. But so anytime it gets played, if I get monetized, then whatever money comes from that goes to the people who are in charge of that song. So, hey, leave me alone, James. I love squirrels. I feed them. Oh, my eye stuck. I have makeup on, and I forgot I was wearing makeup. And
I watched you put your makeup on.
Yeah, but I forgot I had it on. That's the problem.
So rubbing your eye.
Because my eye it started itching, and I rubbed it. Yeah, it went off.
Now, did you put Pink Floyd, the movie, down on your list that you have to watch the movie?
I will do that now. I almost forgot. I'm gonna have
to buy it.
2 sides already filled up. That's why I love doing this stuff, because it's.
Yeah, you absolutely have to see it at least twice, 3 times is best to fully grasp it.
I don't know if I spelled that right, but I'm sure it'll pop up. Diana Ross is a good singer. I like her. I grew up listening to Clint Black as a kid. And then him and his wife did a few songs together, and they are awesome together. Oh, are they awesome together?
They were just in The Masked Singer.
We don't want to see that. There might be people out there that didn't see it.
What?
Sassy. Okay, so we've got just a few more minutes, and then we're gonna head out. Down below after the live, if you guys could put, a song, the name of the song, the artist that is your all-time favorite, that makes you smile and happy, and like give
We'd be here for hours if I started my list.
It's okay. Yeah, the more the merrier. The more songs the merrier.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I know. But
okay. Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson.
What's that?
Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. And you have to watch The Graduate. Here's a useless trivia fact. The Graduate was the first movie to actually have a cool album soundtrack made for that movie specifically. Did you know that?
I did not.
That is my useless trivia for you.
Well, other people may think it is useless, but I think that's awesome that you know that stuff.
Oh, I have more useless music facts. Ask me something historical. I have no idea. Ask me about 80s bands, and I can rattle off crap that means nothing. And I am convinced that the reason why, part of why my memory is crap, is I have so many 80s songs jammed in here that I still know all the lyrics to, that there is not enough room for any more information.
Paper Fan says, I have to run, but thank you for an awesome place to hang out. Hope to see you Thursday. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and have a great night. Paper Plate, before you leave, if you could drop your link into chat for me, so that if people are not subscribed to him, please do so. Awesome place to go. For some reason, I can't pull you up on YouTube. I don't know if I'm spelling it wrong or what, but if you could drop your link real quick, that would be awesome, and I appreciate it. And thank you for being here, and have a great night, and stay safe yourself.
You know, we should do a spelling bee sometime and see between the two of us who is the worst speller. We'll have Dwayne do it.
Yeah.
Because Dwayne's good at spelling. That's one of the reasons I keep him around. Because my spelling is just awful.
Did you see Cliff's comment? We should sit in a joint circle and discuss this.
Absolutely.
That is freaking hilarious. That's like priceless, I'm telling you. I have so many windows open right now. I need to close them soon. That's what I did. Thank you. I figured out what I did wrong. So it's totally, when I was typing, because I was typing so fast, I totally was adding letters and numbers where there shouldn't have been. Oh boy. All right, I think on that cue, I think we're going to head out. We will see you again next week, where we will have another topic. So if you want to know what that topic is next week, gotta come back. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are not. And I hope to see you again. Much love, and have a beautiful rest of your week. We will see you again next Monday. And next Monday is, hold on, next Monday is the 21st, and that's a couple days before Christmas, aka Tommy's birthday. That was a whole mouthful. All right. Do you guys have anything to say?
I'm having my show on Friday instead of Saturday this week because I have another obligation on Saturday night. So my show will be on at 9:30 Friday night. Please come. I actually had a very good show last week. I had Jessica and Joe from the Family Flip, and everybody loved them. But it was a very good show. Jessica really, she put her heart right on her sleeve and told everything about her mental health and her past, and it was phenomenal. And they're willing to come on anyone's show. They don't usually do YouTube shows, but they're never asked either. So, if they already said if anybody asks them to come on, like Pixie, if you wanted them to come on a Tuesday night, just drop them a line.
I wanted to ask, but I know that they're really busy, and I didn't want to disturb them. But I will reach out to them because I think that would be awesome.
They would love it because they really love that we are in the mental health community and trying to help people, and anything they can do, they want to be right in there with us.
Awesome. Yeah, I love them. They are so amazing. And Tommy, he met them first, and then he was like, "Oh, you gotta see these amazing people." So I sat down and I'm like, "Oh my God, they're so awesome!" And then so we talked with them behind the scenes, and I'll definitely reach out to Jessica because I know that she touched base a little bit about it. But yeah, for sure.
She's phenomenal. Joe's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It was initially just going to be Jessica, and I was surprised when Joe was there. And Joe and Jessica were both on the show, and they, I asked them the right questions. They gave me the answers. It was so smooth. They make it so relaxed. It wasn't stressful at all.
Yeah. Dwayne, no, Tommy is not Jesus. And Cliff, stop encouraging Dwayne. All right. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. I will probably be going live once or twice this week. I'm not sure. Just got to see what's going on. So if you could make sure that you have the bell rang. and clicked and all that wonderful stuff. Hopefully I can do another live this week. That would be awesome. The birds are saying good night and yelling at me because I'm too loud. The little birds are down here during the day with us, and then we take them upstairs. Okay, they're getting wild. They're coming out of the cage flying.
I thought I was all of a sudden hearing birds.
Yeah, that would be my amazing parakeets that are up there being sassy. So, all right, have a good night, everybody. James, don't leave yet. We're signing off. So, much love. We'll see you later.